10 years ago, on June 9th, 2012, I started recording my Superflat survival Let's Play. Over 100 episodes later, I'm still going, so I went back and watched all the old episodes so you wouldn't have to. You can hear my voice change, see my world evolve, and hear my reactions to old updates in the game. It's been an amazing, decade-long journey, so I hope you enjoy 10 years in Survival Superflat.
Let's play Flat World. That's right, Flat World.
Future Mogswamp here. I'll be joining from time to time to explain things and provide context. In these early days, my microphone and video quality were still pretty rough. Most of my episodes only had 1 or 2 cuts, and they were pretty much continuous gameplay.
Alright, let's get going. We're gonna want these sheepsies. Gonna get my 3 wool. What do you do in this game? Right, sticks. Wood. Craft, no. The slimes can get annoying, the sound, but we'll hopefully fix that pretty soon. I'll build a trench and you guys will never have to worry about it ever again. Oh, okay. So this village has just what I wanted, which is a blacksmith, and I'll take it. 2 blacksmiths in 1 village is a jackpot. Ooh, nice. Let's get a trench going for you guys. The more slimes I have in there, the less slimes I have up here. I just want to do this because I think it's fun, and also I've just had this idea for a super flat Let's Play for a very long time, and I really wanted to do one. I have some big plans for you guys. Hopefully we'll get some saplings soon from one of the chests. We'll get a wheat farm going, infinite food. Alright, well, that's gonna wrap up the first episode. I hope you guys liked it.
I made sure to build the nether portal with lava blocks from the blacksmiths. That way I could save the obsidian from blacksmith chests for my enchantment table. By episode 4, I had the portal all built.
I'm just here in the nether. As you can see, I just made like a makeshift little table here. I upgraded the trench.
This trench was my way of temporarily disabling hostile mob spawns by filling up the mob cap.
Now we have our very own cobblestone generator. This is where we're at, not too much, but we're gonna make an iron golem farm. We're going to have to destroy all these houses.
You may have noticed in that last clip I have some oak saplings in my hotbar. I don't think I showed it on camera or anything, but you find those in the village blacksmith chests.
As of now, there's a list of very few items that I can get in a flat world. But when the villager trading comes out, there will be loads more blocks I can get. The biggest thing that I'm hoping for is redstone. That would really change the direction of this Let's Play, because right now the biggest hindrance, I guess, the biggest thing stopping us from taking over the world is that we don't have redstone in order to make redstone contraptions and farm. What we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start deleting all the earth around here down to bedrock. I have created a big circle, which is gonna be a tower going way up tall in the sky. The iron golem farm is just about working. As you can see, I finished putting all the half slabs. Yeah, that took a lot of half slabs. I also put water down all over the place outside of here. That's a good enough view, I guess.
To this day, water still surrounds my base. It's actually very easy to cover your world with water. You basically just need to place source blocks diagonally in a line.
As you guys may or may not know, in 1.3, which is coming out on August 1st, by the way, I can break all those half slabs and have a chest because they're not flammable. They cannot be burned, unlike normal wood. When you craft new half slabs, they'll be called something else. So I'll have a nice stockpile of those in case I need to use them for anything, which will be nice.
And I still have them to this day.
But yeah, up here, we're soon going to be starting the mob farm and also the outside world, like the top level. That's why I'm spreading this grass out there so that we can begin the landscaping around. 24 blocks up from here, we're gonna begin the mob spawner, the mob system. I tore out the floor. Took me several hours, and I don't think it looks half slab. How I want to set up this world is hopefully there's going to be this tower, of course. There will be mob separators because I'd like to do a lot with the mobs. As you can see, the grass is spreading quite nicely. That's nice. Pretty soon this will start looking like a normal world again. The way you guys have to imagine this is that This top level here is like it is down there, just all grass. Yeah, I've accumulated about 4 days in this world. Of course, some of that was idling. I hope you're not getting bored just watching me pillar. Just need 3 more double chests full of those stone bricks, and we should be pretty much done with this. As you can see, we finished up the walls. Still eating this crap though.
I don't eat rotten flesh anymore, but I still haven't really perfected a food source. Some old habits die hard, I guess.
So, here we are on the second level. This used to be all out in the open. See, there's the grass, as you can see out there. That is the center of where the mob trap will go. I'm probably gonna divide it into like 4 parts. There will be different things. Then we head up here. This will be where all the mob handling is done, all the mob sorting. Finally, we have the 3rd level. This tower goes from bedrock to level 75. I really want to make it a city so that everything has its own place. Soon we're going to be setting up the iron golem farm because we are in desperate need of iron. Just a little view of the tower, it's pretty cool. I've already gotten a lot of dirt filled in, as you can see. I'm going to try and start moving these guys up into the sky.
This was the start of the Garden of Pharos, an old defunct area of my world that we recently visited to build a giant creeper.
3, 2.
Here's our little village. Now we've got this thing. This is a iron golem farm. Hopefully by next episode we'll have it somewhat functional. There it is. There's the farm.
In this version of the game, there was no limit to how much you could trade with villagers. I got pretty much all my emeralds from trading wheat and wool.
Ta-da! So this is a new run that we've created. It has 4 entrances like this, 1 on each side. Let's see if we can pick all that up. No, don't even have enough room. I finished off these hallways, put this nice sphere with glowstone. I'm just clicking, and already level 9 in a matter of seconds. So this is the loot chest, guys. Pretty incredible. This is all from trading with the villagers using wheat. And here is the library. I've been traveling around getting bookshelves with my Silk Touch. Gotta start on the storage room soon downstairs. So many projects, but you know, one step at a time. This world is really starting to come together. Farmed quite a bit of stone, farmed a ton of wheat. Bam, 64 emerald blocks. That's pretty insane. How many is that? We're looking at 70 or so? Oh my goodness. Yes. You gotta build one of these. Oh wow. Today I have so much stuff to do in the flat world that you're basically just gonna watch me do it.
In the early days of the flat world, I had a lot of chores. I farmed wheat for emeralds, but it took a lot of bone meal to do so. Hoppers weren't in the game yet, so I had to manually stand next to my mob farm. Another big chore was digging dirt from the bottom of my world to place at the top of my base. I still have to farm dirt like this all the time in 2022. The enchanting system was totally different back then. Before anvils were in the game, you had to spend a full 30 levels to enchant something and just pray that it had the enchantments you needed. In general, Minecraft was so much of a slower game back in 2012.
I've started to decorate the iron golem farm here, and we're going with a tree theme. This is going to sort of be like some sort of garden. There's so many of them that they're not falling down the hole. Wow, would you look at that? But here, let's give it a test run. So yeah, it's the theme song.
Remember how I said hoppers weren't in the game yet? This timer would let me know when the drops from my mob farm were about to despawn. I got the idea from Ethos Lab, who was the person who inspired me to start a Let's Play in the first place.
This is the portal room. Almost done. I have to move this over. I'm gonna carpet all these hallways as well. I think it looks pretty nice.
Fun fact, when I say carpet here, I'm actually just talking about the wool blocks. Actual carpets wouldn't be added to the game for a while.
This is essentially what it's gonna look like when it's done, and there will be roads connecting it all. As soon as 1.4 comes out, we'll get those corner stairs, and I'm gonna use those for the roads a lot.
Can you believe that corner stairs weren't in the game back then? I'm so used to having them, it feels like they've always been there.
So what I'm walking towards right now is a design for a spider farm I was working on.
This spider farm as well as the mob farm and my main base were both my own designs. I actually even did tutorials for them. They're both really simple, but I'm still proud of them.
So all in all, we have like 4 double chests full of stone. I've got a full chest of redstone here, even more redstone here. I've got a full chest full of glass. I've been also farming the blazes. These are all level 30 enchants. A lot of sheep, as you can see. It's actually lagging the world a little bit. I have done lots and lots of work. I've added this river, nice little bridge. So yeah, let's say thank you to everybody. So basically, this is the entrance to the Garden of Pharos.
But if we come down here, first 150 subscribers, the 150th subscriber will go in this spot here. Thank you guys so much. In case you're wondering, all 150 of the first subscribers are still there. And some of these people have actually been watching me for 10 years. And it turns out that I've created one of the world's funniest squid farms. As soon as I go through the nether, there'll be a million squids. Yep, and now they're all gonna explode, and ink sacs galore. I miss this so much. As of 1.13, squids only spawn in water biomes. But luckily, I can still get glow squid on my flat world for when I'm missing my tentacle friends. I have so many iron blocks. I'll idle at the iron golem farm overnight while I'm in school. These 4 beacon things didn't even put a dent in my iron collection. Literally, all I have to do to get them working is place the beacon. I've yet to go to the nether and find a proper wither skull area. That you're seeing right now is actually the cobblestone mountain I'm working on. This was just behind the scenes. Eventually it'll go all the way up. As you can see up there, I have a couple of pistons, one with water, one with lava. This mountain is actually the only lava cast I've ever done on my world. The other mountains on my world were placed manually by hand and are completely hollow inside. I've done an insane amount of terraforming around. The whole place looks really nice now. I need to disguise that as a tree and that and that. We need to finish these 4 buildings. We also gotta do the mountain, but that's more of a side project. That's where we're eventually gonna fight the withers in. We gotta finish the library, work on the farms downstairs. Bunch of stuff I'd like to do with the mobs. Thanks so much for watching, all my new subscribers. Means a lot. Hopefully someday we're gonna become a thriving YouTube channel. The reason I'm thanking my new subscribers in that last clip is because I had gained about 200 subs overnight when I uploaded my episode 25 checkpoint video. I went on to do another 2 checkpoint videos at episodes 50 and 75, and each time you can actually see the bump in my subscriber count. This brings us past the early days and onto the true golden age of the flat world. I was still in high school and able to play all the time, and I was getting more comfortable on camera. I remember having a really small but dedicated community, and I started streaming once in a while. It's really nostalgic to think about. In this clip, I'm working on setting up a wither skeleton farm. I'm gonna flatten out a lot of this area to begin with, and after that we can actually get focused on the steps we need to take to actually make a farm. Hopefully soon we'll have some skulls going, get those beacons up and running. Beds. Beds explode in the nether when you try to sleep in them. And I was like, huh, well that's interesting because I can't get TNT on the flat world. I don't have any sand. I had never seen anyone use bed mining in the nether before when I made this, so I was pretty proud of myself for coming up with it. Back then I used to switch between hard and peaceful mode a lot, so I used peaceful for this so the beds wouldn't kill me every time. Spawn rates are great. Look what we got. We're going to be fighting some withers. This is one project I'd like to forget about. I spent an insane amount of time trying to get the nether perimeter cleared enough for the farm to work, but it honestly never really did. I have actually got the farm working. Stacks and stacks of pistons, redstone. That is the center of the perimeter, and if we come up here, I've installed crushers, skeletons, pigmen, magma cubes, blaze, wither skeletons. They all spawn in here. Probably a full week of solid work. I want pumpkins so bad here because I could make my own iron golems in places where I need them. And I realized during Halloween, in the game, mobs had a chance of spawning with pumpkins on their head. I should have played on Halloween. This is where we're going to be fighting the withers. Yeah, that mountain there. I had to stop building it up because the game got too laggy. I started working on the storage room. Here is basically the design. I worked in a creative world for a while just trying to figure out a cool floor pattern, and this is what I came up with. As you can see, I just went for a stone look, sort of matching above. All right, guys, here we go, the moment of truth. I have a backup chest, so wish me luck, guys. Here we go. We're gonna do this. Oh, wow, that was so quick. Okay, run away. And let's just kill him. Kill him. Is he dead? What? What happened? Yes, we did get the Wither Star. Boom. Take that. Let's see how fast we can kill him. This is bad, this is bad. Kill him. This guy. Oh, one more hit, one more hit. Yes, we did it. I think I know how to handle the next couple fights much better. We got the 2 Wither Stars, that's what's important. Craft it. Yes, 2 beacons. How does this work? I love it. Oh, look at that. Look at that jump. Oh, it just makes it a lot nicer here. I finished the second half of the storage room, and I am basically out of stone. Eventually, I'm going to build a statue of an iron golem somewhere over there in the back. Today, we're going to be working on that donation room. It's gonna be hard because caves are very random. Here's how it turned out. As you can see, back then I used to honor my donations by putting them in this man-made cave. And I really want to bring that back by starting a big pirate cove for all my YouTube channel members and patrons. I think I could do a lot better with the terraforming nowadays. School just got canceled tomorrow because of the giant snowstorm. Supposed to have 2 feet of snow. We're gonna find diamonds, carrots, hopefully, and potatoes. Oh, carrots, it is new generation. Wow, look at that, we already got carrots. That's right, I used to be able to tell which villages I hadn't been to yet because carrots and potatoes weren't even in the game when I started my world. So we've got potatoes, we've got carrots. There should be some nether quartz around for sure. Haha, we've got back home. There we go. So for the newer viewers, this is basically our tower. Everything you see was done legitimately on a super flat survival game mode type. Our carrots and potatoes that we got on our adventure have been growing very well. These are the 4 buildings which we still need to finish. 1 chest, 2 chest, 3 chest, 4, and then a little more. That was all done at this cobblestone, or actually it's a stone generator. I just felt like going to the nether today to get some quartz, lots of glowstone. We're here in our brand new base in the nether, and it is definitely under construction, as you can probably tell. I'm gonna get rid of that water over here, and I'm gonna get rid of this water up here. I'm gonna make a new series of portals. Somewhere in here, all the squid will collect and we'll have a door and we could go in and harvest them all if we want to. It's sort of like a dry aquarium, if you will. Yeah, we still gotta fix this thing. So this spider farm was basically broken from the first day I built it because I built the ceiling too low. And even though it takes me a while to fix it in the series, once I did, it lasted forever. The mechanics behind it are so simple that it still works fine in 2022. We're just gonna get right going today here. Yep, okay. Oh no. Oh, we're gonna die. Oh god! I haven't really used hoppers yet, believe it or not. We'll just have chests and chests down here that will fill up with iron. When hoppers finally released, I had the fun task of going back and changing all my farms so that they would auto-collect the drops. Look in the chest and there is plenty more. So that's awesome. I really like the way that turned out. We're doing a bit of a special episode today. I changed my system date and time. We're gonna try to get some pumpkins here today. It worked! Oh man, look at that pumpkin on his head. We successfully went back in time, guys. It is now Halloween 2012. They're one of you. Whoa. Oh god. And after trying for a while, I gave up. Back in the day, if things weren't working out, I would give up pretty easily. I feel like this world and my YouTube channel have taught me not to give up so easily anymore. That's how much iron has collected since the last episode. I worked on this massive cobble generator. I left my computer on while I slept. I had like 3 double chests full of stone and cobble. Did a lot of wood farming, working on getting villagers to trade with, organizing like crazy. I built some light sensors. They come on when it turns nighttime. Still gotta finish the other squid farm and get rid of that water. Oh, hello everybody. I love how their texture is like screwed up when they're taking damage. Here's the new setup. We'll be able to come down into here. Okay, that's why I have this. Yeah, quick drop. We'll just put some wood here for now. I was thinking this would be an okay place to put the wood farm. I am about to build a piston elevator, so I need to go to bed now because it is a school night, but it's finished. Oh man. Oh, it's so nice. No more creepers. Glowstone's just gonna line the back of this thing. This came out pretty well. I'll copy the same thing on the other side, of course. Since last time, I copied over the trees on the other side. Oh yeah, I put a piece of water here. That's one of the things we need to do this episode is make a fountain there. I think that'll work just fine. Just trying this fountain out. And it even pushes you off to the side. That's beautiful. Okay, that looks really cool. I changed up the fountain a little. It's actually very fast this way. You can just like go in and out. One of the things we're also gonna hopefully try and do today is make a staircase going up around this tower. This is it so far. It's actually pretty fast to get up with the speed. Oh god! Yeah, it comes up to here. I put some stairs there. I might extend the walls out to here and do something with this room. And wow, 650 subscribers. We're growing really fast. Lately I've been waiting for 1.6 because I really want to start a base. I have a cool idea, but it has to do with the colored clay. In that clip, I'm actually talking about a base idea for this old SMP I was on, but I included it just because it's so interesting to hear what was coming out in those updates. Horses? Carpets? Whee! We are in 1.6, so I'm gonna do some research on flat worlds and horses. These areas right here, I have to finish them off on all 4 sides. I think I have an idea of what I want to do with this room, by the way. Melons and
pumpkins once I get pumpkins. Let's show off this. There's like a ring of glowstone and glass, and eventually everything will be inside like this or like this.
It's funny to hear me describing my goal of completing the interior of the big tower that long ago. It's still very much on the to-do list.
The squid tank is working. That's a lot of ink sacs. I'm almost done with this spider farm. I took a break. Since I've been gone, I put trees on a mountain and torches. I was like, man, this mountain would look pretty cool if it was all covered in trees. This is the mob farm, like I said. I really want to top it off somehow. One of my ideas was to have like a big tree. Another idea is just to have like a giant sphere.
This clip was fun for me to see because I finally got around to making something on top a couple weeks ago. So when I said in the video that it took me literally 10 years to finish that, I really wasn't exaggerating.
Last episode, I said I was gonna work on an automatic tree farm. You go into here, and the idea is that you plant a sapling, it'll push this way, and then I'll have like a 3 wide thing of trees just going this way. Then I plant the tree, and it starts to try and plant. The 3 trees here get pushed out.
This was my first attempt at a somewhat automatic tree farm, and as you'll see, it was not the last.
I'm about to build a melon farm. So here we are. And it ends up in this chest eventually. I hope this serves us well. It should always run automatically whenever we're around. This is a cool functional room now. I mostly need horses and that pesky nether quartz, which I have none of. Basically, the plan is to just keep going until I see quartz. Oh, there's some quartz. Oh, yes, finally.
Believe it or not, I had explored a lot of my nether by the time quartz was introduced into the game. So having to go way out to collect quartz was a pretty normal occurrence.
Ooh, saddle, perfect.
I didn't find horses on my adventure, but there's a good reason for that that'll be explained soon.
So I'd like to set up a permanent trading station. I hate working with villagers, but it's kind of necessary. If we get this smelting machine running, we can convert all our cobble to stone really easily, which will be nice to have. We can use that stone to make the iron golem statue, which is where the villagers will go, which will help us get diamond pickaxes, which we can then enchant to get fortune, which we can then use to get quartz, which we can use to get redstone comparators, and finally make our mob sorting system.
This clip kind of highlights how important trading halls are on Superflat worlds. So many essential resources are obtained through villager trading that it's really hard to do anything without that infrastructure set up.
I just started laying out the room where the furnace array is going to go. I shift click all of the cobble into here. A cart will run around and distribute it amongst these chests. Put it in the fuel chest, and there's a perfect amount. So I've already done so much work. I've been reading audiobooks. I have to do all my summer reading, and I've been collecting books because I've been working on the library and I actually ran out of books. Along the way, you can see I finally got my diamonds. In fact, a whole 16 of them. First, I went 10,000 blocks west, and now I've gone 10,000 blocks east. No horses either way. I don't understand why they wouldn't spawn on a flat world, because that would make this job so much easier. I got a Fortune 3 pickaxe, and so I now have loads of nether quartz. So I got the books so I can finally finish off this guy.
This library is such a good example of something that I thought looked so good when I made it, but now it just looks so 2013.
Here we are at the iron golem farm. I finished up the stone going around the side, but I did do a little bit of work. Bam! There is the iron golem statue. Here we are at the head of the iron golem. Oh, I like it. Yeah, that definitely looks pretty cool. I was putting more trees on the mountain when I noticed this mysterious thing. This is so... Oh god, there's more of them! What is that? It's got like stripes on it. Oh my god, that's a wither! It's like a sideways wither head. This really is Withering Heights. It's haunted now by 3 floating, blinking wither skulls.
Eventually, these stopped blinking and turned solid, but they are still there.
Here is the item sorting. I want to put in a wheat farm up here as soon as possible. So now I've finished the sorting system. I've finished the 4 buildings. I'm almost done with the iron golem farm. Still need the last 2 beacons. The only thing that's left to do on the spider farm over here is add in the sorting system and the killing system. So other than that, it's all finished. I think I'm going to redo the piston elevator. I think I can find a more reliable design. There's this guy I've been watching, Mumbo Jumbo. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him, and he's got some cool tutorials that I was looking up. So yeah, I'm liking this. We're starting to get the design of the place sort of worked out. I'll have all the stuff from here go into hoppers. We could have the hopper chain go backwards to chests up here. Let's see how this goes. We could just actually start dumping these here. Everything should be feeding in correctly. Hopefully, we will soon see one of the lights go on.
At this point, I reached episode 50 and made another checkpoint video. And I'm glad I did because I got some pretty cinematic footage. We had finished the 4 buildings surrounding the tower, started a massive mountain, and we built a library and storage hall. We had a blaze farm, the beginnings of an ugly nether hub, a failed wither skeleton farm, and a chaotic trading hall inside a giant iron golem. This brings us to chapter 3. At this point, I was starting to look at different colleges, and I knew in the back of my head that in a year I'd be leaving high school forever. I started to take my channel really seriously because I felt like if I wasn't able to make a career out of it, I'd have to quit when I went to university. I was still having fun, but I do remember this period being filled with a lot of pressure and anxiety around the Mogswamp channel.
What's this? I've reached 1,000 subscribers. That's right, guys, 1,000 subs. The best equivalent of a fireworks display I can do here on the flat world without paper. Oh, that's cool.
This moment right here turned out to be very pivotal in the history of the flat world, and you'll see why in a little bit.
Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. I certainly would not have come this far in the flat world without the viewers. This is like really legitimately crazy, but I think we might do it anyways. I want to cover the cobblestone mountain in grass.
This is the first of many times that I started a project that I thought was crazy or impossible, and I actually ended up finishing it.
I remember I sort of did hit a spot on the flat world where I had like, there didn't seem like there was anything to do here, and I just kind of lost interest for a while, but I am not there anymore, I can assure you. I've actually written out checklists, pages of ideas, and things that we need to complete. I can't decide if it's worth it. You know what? Let me know in the comments whether or not you think it would be worth it to cover this mountain in lush green grass. So that's a pretty small patch, which just shows that was like 4 stacks. Oh my god. I don't think it's doable. It's about time we try and rehaul the tree farm down here. This tree farm was designed by my good friend SZ Petty, and it's going to use the wither. I'm in the middle of wiring this thing. It's taking quite a few pistons. So basically you stand here and spam right click. We already got a tree. And there go the logs. Oh, that was so cool. From now on, as soon as we place this wither though, we're not going to be able to go onto peaceful mode anymore.
So I mentioned this once before, but I used to actually switch between hard and peaceful mode quite frequently. A lot of the time it was to do testing or construction on mob farms. Nowadays I'm a strict hard mode player and I never switch to peaceful. But back in the day, it wasn't actually that simple to stay on hard. Worlds didn't have their own difficulty setting until 1.8, so if you were playing in a creative world in peaceful mode, you'd have to remember to change it back to hard before logging into your single player world, or your wither would be erased.
Although it's really cool, the noise is always gonna be there, and same with this bar of health.
So here I am building the enormous wheat farm in my base. Even when I built this design, it was a bit old-fashioned, but I just love having a big old-school wheat farm. It really brings me back to those early days of Minecraft when I first played with my brother in 2011.
Big wheat farm. Wheat is great for trading, of course. We're just gonna start tilling everything here. The wheat is mostly grown, but I've grown impatient, so I'm going to go and set it off. Okay, here we go. The switch is down. Here comes the wheat. We're gonna try to get a horse. The passive mob cap was probably being reached by all the animals at my base. Since they're in the spawn chunks, they're always loaded, and so I need to get rid of said animals in order for more to spawn. I've built an ark to house our animals. I might have to build a tunnel through the mountain, and once we have one of each animal, we can start breeding them in there. What? What? I was just enchanting things. I got a horse. Look at him. He's beautiful. This is so exciting. Hey, he loves me. Now I can put a saddle on him. That is incredible. Oh, this is so cool. So there's the ark down there. More witherheads? Do you see that? Yeah, another witherhead. Oh, there's one. Wow, look at that. Oh, man. Wow, so many squid.
Look what we got. We got some horses. 3 more. Yes.
This is where we're gonna build our horse ladder. All right, so let's run and grab a horse. Whee! Oh, that's fun. You can just drop down and you'll land in the water here. I built the fish farm. I just went ahead and did it. Here's the cool loot I got from running it for a while. That's from one night. I got 8 name tags, which is so spectacular.
This is a fun one I forgot about. My nether portal was in a dark spot in my base, so if I spent enough time around there, bats would just be flying through constantly. And when I finally would go to the nether, this would happen.
I'm gonna build a sheep farm right here, and it's gonna be an AFK sheep farm, and hopefully it's gonna be super awesome. It's done. You stand at the top here and fill up your inventory, hold one and just hold right click and you'll shear them. There's this little contraption here that cycles through shears so that you always have one in hand. I built a tunnel that leads to the ark. Yeah, we're here on Withering Heights. I've been working about 3 days on this.
I honestly think this project is when I truly fell in love with the grind. I just have really fun memories of binge watching Malcolm in the Middle while I dug up dirt for hours only to place it back down again.
I created a zombie pigman farm. It's just one row of platforms way up in the sky, and it spawns a bunch of pigmen and then they fall to their death. When I got down here, there were tons and tons of chickens. There's this bug in the newest version of the game where chicken jockeys can spawn in the nether and then they walk off the edge and they float down. The baby zombies despawn and just leave the chickens. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of gold here. If I move closer, I think they're more likely to move around, and you can see they all tank. Today we're starting a brand new project, which sounds weird because I know I'm always talking about all the things I gotta finish up around here. Don't worry, check out this wall of water. This is part of a test I was doing. I love underwater in general. So I've been playing BioShock. I love Rapture. It's the coolest thing. Underwater builds are hard to do. It's hard to find a big ocean in Minecraft. But here we can build a giant build and then later submerge it. So welcome to Souichi. This is the new project we're gonna be working on.
Souichi is the second project I started that I never thought I would ever finish.
There we go, guys. Check that out. If that isn't a cool foundation for a base, then what is? We're mainly gonna use black glass, I've decided. I think it's gonna look really cool in the end. This is what it's gonna look like. Bam! Filled in this whole thing with the new andesite. New andesite stone. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's go up here, see how our villagers are doing. The more the merrier. I traded for a lot of redstone, filled up this chest. I'd say it's time to build a better mob farm. So let's do this.
Do you guys remember how insanely annoying it used to be to craft things like pistons in bulk?
Welcome to the Punks, the new site of the mob farm. It actually used to say thanks, not the Punks. Something interesting, when you walk over here, boom, boom. Yeah, so you get 2 flashes of all the fire charges, like half loaded or unloaded.
Remember when I said this moment would be really pivotal? Well, this is why. It seems like in old versions of the game, when projectiles would hit the edge of your render distance, they would just freeze there forever. Just like the witherheads, nowadays the fireballs are actually solid instead of blinking. And to be honest, it's one of my favorite features of my entire world just because it's so unique.
So now we've got a big cobble mountain with flashing witherheads and a big mob farm with flashing fiery balls. Stone, some redstone, some pistons. I'm gonna need a lot more redstone. I'm gonna need a lot more tripwire hooks and string. We need to find a way to be killing the spiders without losing all their drops, because this thing doesn't really work too well. Instead of having some fancy thing in the middle, I had a big staircase go down, and instead it just drops the spiders. They die and the hoppers pick up their drops. So the first level is completely done. But yeah, I traded tons of wool with villagers to get lots of emeralds. We're gonna need about a double chest full of redstone. Boom. Mobs will get pushed off immediately. I finally took down the automatic wood machine that kept breaking and such. This is all the stuff I got from it.
As you can see, it seems like my tree farms were cursed to not last very long.
What we're going to be doing today is building a big statue. I just started the base of the statue down there. You can see it there. On this other side, you can see the work I've done already. It's been a couple days, say maybe 2/3 done, if not more. I just wanted to try out the mob farm here. I've put a roof on it. So here we go. I've already been testing it a little bit. Yeah, the rates are already pretty insane. We didn't even use up half the pistons.
Wow, look at that. That is amazing. In order to begin work on the collection system, I need a lot of wood. And now that I'm out of a wood farm, I didn't want to go back and mine all the wood, so I figured, why not build the new wood farm? Oh, I love this thing. It's so insane. To this day, this farm is still a beast. And it's another one of my favorite things about my world. Something about watching the mobs rain down like that just still hasn't gotten old after 8 years. Finished off this room. All the plants are pretty much planted. When I first started my channel, I thought, I'm in this too late. Like, I should have started earlier. I'm running out of time. Minecraft's not going to be in the spotlight forever. And that was 2 years ago in college. I have to quit because I'm going to have a roommate. Like I said, I'm going to be an art student. Art takes a lot of time. It's hard to quit something you really care about. You know, I'm constantly feeling stressed that time is running out and that I will have to. I've been being very social lately. I think part of it is this fear that, like, I know that once I go to college, it's just never gonna be the same again. And I know a lot of people still have high school friends years and years later, but I'm just worried because I know me. I know that when I go away, I'm gonna lose a lot of really good friends. So I'm trying to just get as much as I can out of high school before I leave. I don't know. Lots of things going on for me right now. So check it out. We got a bunch new horses. Oh man, that just looks so cool. It's like a big Oreo cookie with a bunch of cool different colors inside. I finished the statue. It took me a few hours. Last time I talked about how it's kind of hard to build a statue while you listen to an audiobook. I just decided to do it anyways. This is what the statue looks like. Look at me. Yeah, it's time to spawn in the wither. All right, guys, hopefully I do this right. Here we go. Yay, it's working. If you haven't figured it out already, it used to be a lot easier to trap the wither. Nowadays, with stuff like TNT dupers, people rarely ever use wither farms. I finished up the wood farm, so here it is in its entirety. Bones will just all feed up to the tree farm. Just hold down right click. The bone meal shoots out of the dispenser. I've got a full chest and a little bit more. I've used up a lot of it. I finished all of the redstone and it works quite well. I finished this water stream and I put in all the lava in the hoppers. It is episode 72, so we're very, very close to another checkpoint video. I'd like to finish up some more stuff, but I guess we'll have to wait till the 100. The mob farm being done, these rooms will probably wait. I think Souichi will be the big thing for the 100th video. Oh, cool. You get a view of Souichi from this window. I ripped it down. It is done. A brand big, spanking, open space. Oh, I'm a professional, guys. I just really like how everything connects and how the base flows. We can try and connect these guys next episode, possibly. I put in the base of the elevator. We've got our slime block elevator all installed. Let's just give it a try. Whee! I just got out of my last day of classes for this year, and this year was my senior year, which means I am done with high school. I grabbed some cows for the infinite breeding machines and brought them over. This is where the infinite breeding machine is gonna go. This is where I want the tunnel for the pigs and the cows from the infinite breeding machine, right on this side. I've been working on making a tunnel here. When the cows are infinitely bred, they will advance along this water tunnel, and then that goes all the way down into my base there. I built the infinite trading cell. It's designed by Zazuma Void. He makes incredible tutorials, probably the best quality on YouTube. What we're gonna be doing in this room is making the potion lab. All right, guys, so I've been doing a little bit of work here. I added a fountain up there just for decoration. I think it looks kind of cool. Things should be getting separated, hopefully. Yep, we're getting flesh by the second, pretty much. Sadly, my world got corrupted right around this time. I had to load a backup, so both the potion room and that item sorter you saw in the last clip got deleted. And finally, we're here at the Dark Ages. In these 5 years, I only put out 10 episodes of the Flat World. School kept me really busy, but each summer I'd come back for an episode or two. Before my channel started doing really well recently, I had big regrets about not continuing Mogswamp during this time. But honestly, in the end, I think it worked out. I really needed that extra time to focus on making friends and completing my art degree. We're here at Souichi, so now we're working on this room. It's gonna be like a terrarium. I'm gonna place the glass and then we can work
work on the roof. Yeah, I think I like that. This is the terrarium, so it's gonna be filled with hills and grass and trees and leaves mostly, and tons of flowers. And you'll notice a lot of creeper holes around here because they actually help me mine the dirt. You just light them with a flint and steel. I think it's looking pretty good so far. We're gonna need a lot of lights in here. I'll hang some vines from the ceiling like I did over there. If you can just picture like squid floating by, because like this whole thing's gonna be underwater. I actually really enjoy doing terraforming and stuff like that. This place is just gonna look so cool once it's underwater, and hopefully that happens. So it's been like a good 3 months. I haven't played Minecraft in a while. I don't think I'll be recording as much as I used to. I might do a thing or two once in a while. So we're at Souichi. This is the project I had been working on, I think, when we last left off. I love Minecraft. Such a fun game. They introduced the bunny in 1.8. I would have to move all the animals back to Noah's Ark again if I wanted to get that bunny. So, I don't know, we'll see. And that right there is one of my biggest regrets of this entire series. In the next update, Mojang would make it so that rabbits no longer spawned in plains biomes. So since I didn't get them in 1.8, I'll never be able to get rabbits on my flat world. If this had happened while I was still in high school, I probably would have noticed the change. But since it was my freshman year at college, I didn't notice and I missed my chance.
Why? Why don't they spawn in plains biomes?
This is the first episode in like 9 months, you know, that's enough to have a baby. So, but I didn't have a baby. Maybe I should have. This is my sophomore year, my 3rd semester of college. Things are going good. I've kind of been building up this sort of area over here. We have like a platform forming here. I've just been kind of adding these pathways and fleshing out the dynamics of this area a little bit more. We'll see how this episode does, you know, and if people are commenting, if there's a positive response, then I'll keep it going to the best of my ability. You know, things are busy with college, but I have my own place now, my own apartment, so I did a bunch of work in the flower world and I want to show it to you guys. It's been a while since I recorded, but I've only been playing for like the past week or so. I had a really busy semester in college. I added this big old tree farm because I realized we don't really have like a giant tree farm. It's kind of therapeutic to just go through and chop down wood. So I added this little slime block elevator. And this is another area I worked on quite a bit. It's right in front of the wheat farm. So here we are in Souichi, and we were filling in some glass. It's gonna be huge, and so I have to extend this skeleton up into the sky. So I think the water's gonna go right up to the statue, but fall short, and it's gonna kind of tumble down the statue. So the cube's gonna start like there, all the way to the back there and to each side. I don't know if I'll ever actually finish it, but I really hope I do. This will all just be open to the sky like it is now, except there will be water, kind of water falling in from every edge. I don't really feel motivated to work on the flat world other than to show people what I'm doing. So doing a video once in a while will just help motivate me to like keep working on this awesome world that I have, keep playing this amazing game. Right, it's been like a year. I have not played a whole lot off camera, but I have played a little bit. We're in the star field. These are just weird artifacts from one time when I shot off a bunch of these things. I put in a maintenance switch so that I can work on the mob farm, and it slows down the mob capacity to only a few per minute. This is actually one of the nice things about that change in 1.18 where mobs only spawn at light level 0. Now, instead of just slowing down the farm, this switch actually turns it off altogether. The tree farm's not working. The wither escaped. He blew parts of this farm apart. I built a little launcher and a staircase up to this level where there's all sorts of mob tubes and stuff like that just for easy access. Today, I am working on doing something that I tried to do a long time ago, and that's if you set your system time on your computer to Halloween of any year, then there is a certain chance that skeletons and zombies will spawn with pumpkins on their heads. And I stood by my mob spawner for about 3 hours, and I just grinded through with a looting 3 sword. With looting 3, it's a 3% chance. I finally got a pumpkin, and there it is. So yeah, now with that pumpkin, we can craft pumpkin seeds, and we have pumpkins on the flat world. You ever have a project that you just put off for way too long, but then you finally get it done? That's exactly how this felt. This just in other flat world news, I have been basically leaving my computer on
for overnight or while I go to work during the day. I have accumulated chests and chests full of wool for trading with the villagers. This is where we're at now. I've sort of modified the bridge over here. There's gonna be water pouring down in this half moon crescent, but other than that, this room is pretty much just gonna be used for dropping down onto this slime block. Today, it is our duty to design a house so you can kind of like land on the balcony. So we got a nice sort of frame for the window to sit in there. I laid out the basic outline of the roof. Next time, we're probably gonna do some more houses. We finished up this roof. In fact, we finished up the whole house. Let's build a new building. I'm gonna grab a bunch of wood here and we can basically just outline the roof and then start filling in the rest of the building around that. Here is the roof. Looks pretty good.
Keep in mind, guys, at this point, oak wood is still the only wood type I've ever had on the flat world.
I kind of built like this bridge thing off camera. The next thing I want to do to finish off this building is decorate it a little more on the outside with leaves. So just, you know, kind of dirty it up a bit, have some hedges growing. Yeah, I want to hang some banners. So I'm thinking like right there and there. But yeah, anyways. So I'm out of college now. I just graduated.
This 2018 episode is kind of a weird one because I had the idea to blend like a vlog and let's play together, and I didn't really end up sticking with the idea. That same year, PewDiePie actually like repopularized Minecraft, and I feel like he did it better than I did. But it's cool for me to see this little to-do list I made because we've pretty much done all these things now.
So the first thing I want to do in the game is to build the slime farm.
The slime farm we're going to be using is pretty much the design created by Mango. I'm actually a big fan of the guy. We have our slime chunk marked out right here. So before I dive into this story, I just wanted to explain these weird purple blocks that are popping up. Basically what they are is they're the old wooden slabs. Back in the day, wooden slabs, you actually mined them with a pickaxe and they were completely fireproof. So we did it, it's done. And as you can see, these chests are filling up with slime. I'm over here at Souichi. I know it's been a while, but I feel like I've already, you know, been through all that spiel a few times. I do this like once a year, so you guys are used to it. You know how forever ago I said like I was gonna build a giant dirt ring in the sky and then like put water walls down? Well, yeah, I'm finally doing that. And it's turning out awesome, so let's go check it out. Wow, if you're pressed right up against it, that's a pretty good view. I haven't tried this yet. Can you just bone meal and get like seaweed and stuff? I have not really kept up with the finer mechanics of this game. Oh, it works! It works. I hate that you have to wait now for your breath. Made a lot of changes to the base too. I've been busy, guys. I play a lot just off camera. So I go from this corner and sort of spread it a little bit, and you can see how it goes all the way down once you do that. Filling in the water for Souichi was a really fun grind. For like 2 or 3 weeks, I would just get home from work every night, put on some Dragon Ball Z and start placing water.
In total, it's been about 2 weeks and we've made so much progress, man. We are into starting to delete this dirt wall down here. And I've even done a slight bit of terraforming just to try my hand at it. We just gotta delete this dirt and then I think it'll be a lot brighter in here and a lot easier to see out of it. Oh, that is so cool. You can see like all the seaweed down there. Oh, that is so cool. See, that's exactly what I was hoping. That is amazing. So when we upgrade to 1.14, we can get some fish buckets and just pour them in.
Another change that snuck by me was the removal of squid in 1.13. Again, I just wasn't following the game very closely at that point. I really wish I had name tagged a couple squids so we'd have a few.
This place is a little bit cleaned up and I added a little park up there.
After that last video, I went through a rough breakup and I just didn't feel like making content for the rest of that year. I really needed a change of scene, so I decided to move out of my home state to Texas. And then COVID hit.
The new coronavirus.
COVID-19.
Suddenly I was stuck in my apartment with nothing to do. I had just moved to a brand new city and now I couldn't go out and meet anyone or make friends. So instead, I began making Mogswamp videos again. I started streaming all the time, I made a Discord, and all of a sudden we had the coziest little community Minecraft has ever seen. We had truly hit the Mogswamp renaissance.
I can't remember if it was 1.14 or 1.15, but now you can link portals up to the roof of the Nether
which is super cool. You didn't used to be able to do that. To tell you the truth, I've always hated the Nether on the flat world. It's always been disorganized and a huge mess. I will be very happy to just start over from scratch on a new Nether hub on the roof. Another thing that changed in 1.14 or 15, shears now work out of dispensers, so we no longer need to AFK at the sheep farm in order to get wool. So now the wool just gets picked up by those hoppers and sorted right away, which is super nice. Now, unfortunately, the other thing that we used to AFK here for was the iron golem farm, which no longer works, but luckily they are much easier to make in this version. These are all the old villagers, so actually a lot of them kept their profession from the previous version of the game.
I just love the feeling of getting a lot done in this game.
In 1.14, villagers actually cause cats to spawn, so that's how we got cats on the flat world. The rug has changed from that red. I really just thought that red color was too 2011 Minecraft. In fact, a lot of this build is, especially like just this one stone brick texture going down. I think we're gonna try to change that, add in some stripes and some variations, maybe using some windows and detail. This is the trading machine here. Two interesting things happened while I was building this. First of all, the wandering trader stopped by. I'm really hoping we can attract a wandering trader because there's a lot of stuff like sugarcane, also different wood types. I've been stuck with oak wood the entire time I've played on the flat world. There's also like buckets of fish we could get and coral to decorate Souichi with. We got coral. We got a dark oak sapling. Oh my god. We got a new type of wood.
Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, that looks awesome from in here.
And then second, I decided to go ahead and finally build the mob sorting system. I don't know if we can get this 100% efficient or 100% accurate rather, but this was really fun to build up and I'm glad I finally did it because this has been something on my checklist on the flat world for years and years. The last thing I want to do is just show you guys all the cool tools I made thanks to all the books I got from these librarians and stuff. Got a really nice pair of tools and armor with mending for the first time ever on the flat world.
It's easy to forget how much mending changed the game. I used to use a lot of iron tools because I would blow through shovels and picks mining for dirt and cobble.
Got a little visit from the wandering trader and he gave me some buckets of puffer fish and he also gave me some kelp. So yeah, the goal for today's episode, make a super smelter, make a kelp farm, hook them up together. Oh, look at the kelp growing. Oh, look at it. So this thing is finishing up a really old project that I started. It's an AFK pig and cow farm. We can either burn them right away for their meat and their drops. We can pull a lever to divert the flow where we can hit them with looting 3 if we want to get more drops, or if we need milk, we can use our buckets to get some milk. Last but not least is a chicken farm. I actually decided to tear out the staircase, the sort of spiral staircase that winds around that middle column.
The staircase was there for whenever my piston elevator would break due to lag, but since bubble columns are 100% reliable, I just didn't need it anymore.
I also ripped out this thing, which is the AFK tree farm. It used to use the wither. I did a little bit of work and I installed this giant kelp farm. And there's this auto smelting setup that is turning all of it automatically into dried kelp. I am out in the world just exploring and I have found the first ever new 1.14 village. I can tell because there are trees. So I eventually found beetroot and I managed to multiply it all. Hopefully the wandering trader will stop by a couple more times and we'll unlock some other stuff to farm like cactus, sugarcane, vines. We are closing in on 100 episodes. I hope you're ready. I am going to turn this entire giant floating island place from a giant square to a giant circle.
By the time you get to the mid-90s, the quality of the episodes really improves. I was trying to be a bit more creative. You can see I did this like really trippy time lapse here. Realistically, if you're gonna start watching the series, I would start at episode 100, which is the world tour.
And it's done. We have converted this giant square into a giant circle. I want to try to incorporate this build into the landscape more and actually make everything kind of fit together on this world. We're gonna slowly try and build this platform down to the ground. It's gonna be a really long project. It's gonna be fun, and on each one of these geometric steps,
We're gonna build little village houses and cities. Now that we have more wood types, we're gonna be able to really do some cool builds around here. I'm planning on doing like a little pirate cove under here. And here is what we got from the Wandering Trader. We finally got sugarcane. That's right. We can finally make maps. We can get a cartographer villager. I was cleaning out some chests under here. In the very end, I broke the chest and 3 wither skulls popped out. We can fight the wither and finally get that 4th beacon for this base. We've got our item frames and we've got our first map. Let's check it out. Whoa, cool. And it's done. We have our main base. We've got Withering Heights and Noah's Ark. We got the mob farm, the big one, Souichi. You can tell where I have the actual like cube of water. In order to make all those maps, I did build up a small little automatic sugarcane farm here. To wrap up the episode, I think I want to try and fight that wither. No, oh man. I got you this time. Okay, got the wither star. We did it, baby. At last, all 4 beams going up there. Thank you for watching. I have some really big plans for this base. I started laying out some shapes and you can see which shape is gonna be which height here. I think we've got a basic layout of how everything is gonna go. So the next step is basically to start laying out the dirt circles. I want to convert this half of the storage hallway into being like automatically sorted. I went ahead and I hooked up all the little sorting mabobbers to the back of these chests here on both sides. Slowly but surely we're getting there on this base, man. It's only been like 8 years or whatever. I did another trippy time lapse and laid out the outlines for the base, and the Wandering Trader stopped by and I got birch saplings. Oh my god, we got bees! Once we get all the new tree types, we can start building some really cool builds around these. And hopefully we can get those slowly filled in and stuff. That's gonna be a grind for sure. We are now in 1.16.1. That's right, it's the Nether update. You might have to reset the Nether, Nolan. I think you might be right. When 1.16 dropped, I streamed it and my chat convinced me to reset my Nether. And honestly, I really don't regret it at all. I hated my old Nether. We found out that strongholds now spawn on Superflat worlds in 1.16.1. So we had a lot of fun going to the end, and we got a little something called the Elytra. 1.16.1 introduced a bug where new Superflat worlds would generate with strongholds. So I basically generated a new Superflat world with the exact same seed, and then I copied the structure files in the Minecraft jar into my existing world. It was a little bit cheaty, but I don't regret it. In 1.18.2, a bunch of structures now spawn in Superflat, and it even works for existing Superflat worlds, not just new ones. So I would have gotten strongholds eventually. I just basically gave myself a 2-year head start. I see it! I spy with my little eye. We got the achievement. This is a big moment. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. Okay, here we go. It's not flat. You're right, it's not flat. Let's get a little closer here. I forgot he did that. What? Wait. Oh, did that work? Did that pearl just save me? Oh, I did it! It's happening! It's finally happening! We're gonna get to watch the credits! We beat the flat world. We literally did it. Oh, it's all falling in the fire! Wait. Oh, I hit escape by accident. Well, we're not watching the credits. Oh, the sky's the limit. That's right, baby. Let's put a mending on that. And I'm breaking. Oh, look at us go! I wanted to talk about all the new farms we have to do now that we are in 1.16. So you guys help me decide out of the options that are up on the screen right now. I think the ones that I want to take on are the Netherwort farm and the Basalt farm. Jungle saplings! That's sick! Oh, we need and sea pickles. Oh, and pufferfish. I came up with a little nice design for this wall. We got some decorations in here, and we finished off this whole section. We also finished off the other side over here where we're gonna have beetroot. So as the chests fill up, we will see those lights start to light up. Cactus! Spruce! Blue eyes! We can make a basalt farm!
Oh, this is the best wandering trader I've ever gotten. Now that I've gotten almost everything, I kind of miss this feeling, but we still need to get the new mangrove propagule, so I'll get to relive it once more. It was great to get the spruce. We've been sprucing up the base, eh? We can go right into the basalt farm and check this out, man. It's super fast. I've really dressed up this little area up here as well, just with trapdoors and different wood types everywhere. It's all looking really fresh. I'm almost done filling in all the dirt. I really can't wait to start building on these little platforms we've created. Today, the first and foremost goal is going to be to work on an Enderman farm. So yeah, I've just built up a little bit around this platform that you spawn in on. I built a little staircase to get up to the main island here. If we drop down here, there's now a path that goes out about 128 blocks or so. I wrapped up the farm, it's all set to go, so let's go check it out. Start swiping at them, and you can see they're picking up all the pumpkins and melons along the way. After building this farm, I ended up turning off Enderman griefing, so the pumpkin melon aspect no longer works, but they were griefing all my terraforming, so I really had no choice. We have finally finished filling in the dirt, and now it's time to build the walls. So I wanted to do 2 tests. I wanted to see, you know, how it looked in one slice of it all the way up to the top, if I liked the way it looks, but I also wanted to see how it looks if I just, you know, started extending as far as I could easily the whole entire pattern along this wall. Overall, I think it's an easy enough pattern to replicate, and I think I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. It happened, it finally happened, it happened, we have sand, we can truly do anything with this sand, but we can't do anything with just 64 sand. We need a way to replicate this sand easily. So those are just gonna kind of freak out for a little while like that. This might be really laggy. Oh, things are happening. We can make a cactus farm, which I plan to do. And there's one other important thing we can do. I apologize in advance for this. We can go into the nether. And we can do something, really fun. He had that sand trade. I brought the emeralds fast. I'd seen a lot of trades, but he saved the best for last. Now I got TNT for the first time, and there is just one thing that be on my mind. I go into the portal, I climb up to the top, ready to open it up like Shulker box. Spitfire like a gas, hot just like the nether. And now I finally got a way to make this whole forever. Ooh, baby, now I go to you too, baby, till I find the right how to, baby. Free, pick a good spot, call me Mr. Mogswamp. I can break your bedrock. I can break your bedrock. I can break your bedrock, girl. I can break your bedrock. I can break your bedrock. That's right, we're here on the ceiling of the nether, and we've got a hole to go below the ceiling of the nether. We can finally build a big piglin farm, and we can do a piglin trading system. Alrighty, so you can see it here, the big reveal. I think when this thing is done, it's gonna look really impressive. The cactus farm, I think, should go right up here, and it fits kind of nicely. I'm pretty happy with how I've decorated it here. This main part here is sort of like the lobby. So we knocked off the Enderman farm this episode, and we set ourselves up with that hole to the ceiling of the nether to do the piglin farm and the piglin bartering farm next episode. Check it out, everybody. Look at these walls. It is all closed in now. Oh man, it looks so awesome. Now I've also started outlining the first part of the project, which is building sort of the ship docks down here. All right, everybody, so I popped into the nether here to start working on this gold farm design. I've got the rings of magma blocks placed. I have built up the slabs on top of those rings. So really all I need to do now is start getting in some of the redstone that goes beneath. And it's done. Yeah, so I grinded a little bit and finished up the redstone for this thing. Now I gotta build a piglin bartering farm below here. So I've just been so happy with the way that this looks around here with this wall. I've just been kind of bummed out by how gray and monotonous this all is. So I want to start to improve these buildings slowly over time. And the first one I want to start with
is the main base here. I've just been grinding again, trying to get this thing copied to all the different sides. I think it's gonna look awesome when it's all finished up. We've got like a little raft here, some docks. I wrapped up that piglin farm. We didn't have a way to farm gravel or blackstone before. We get these fun spectral arrows to play with. And yeah, even obsidian and crying obsidian. It's pretty cool to have access to those as well. Super glad that we got all this done in one episode. That was quite the feat. I have done a bunch of dirt outlines, as you can see. We're going to embark on a massive terraforming project to basically turn it into a bay and then have a giant glass wall going across the front face of the bay, acting as a sort of dam for Souichi. And I'm even thinking around the bay here to have one or two more peaks sort of behind. They would probably be the tallest peaks in the entire world here. Yeah, it's a massive, massive project. I finished all of the upgrading to this main part of the castle here. Over here by the mob farm, I would like to perhaps encase it. Anything to sort of make it look a little nicer and just a little bit more hidden. And last but not least is the spider farm over here. We've added this little circle of dirt. And so my idea is to have sort of a Castle Gardens-esque courtyard leading up to the spider farm and then encase this farm in a big cathedral. I grinded out this little port area here. This is sort of the extension to our little fishing village. I also went ahead and grinded out all the glass for this big retaining wall. And yeah, it actually didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would. I kind of forgot, once you get going with the villagers, you can get a lot of stuff really fast. We got a ton done on this mountain. I am so happy with the progress on this project so far. Believe it or not, all the dirt for this mountain has basically just been coming from the bottom of this harbor. If you notice over here, we've got this sort of medieval looking dam runoff system. Wow. Now that is pretty insane. There's still a ton of work to do, but I feel like I've been making some crazy, crazy progress. So I've done the front main door of the cathedral now. I think it's looking pretty great. I also laid down the outline of the rest of the build. So I'm gonna just spend a whole bunch of time building this thing up to the best of my ability. I got the roof on. I've started filling in some of these windows with stained glass. There we go. You can sort of see the pattern that the roof does. Of course, it looks just like a cathedral, but it's so dark and evil looking with the red and the black. We're really capturing what I set out to do with this build, which was Notre Dame meets the giant spider from Harry Potter. I finally got in the system to collect the items like fast enough. Basically, it required ice and I didn't have ice for the longest time. I've got one other thing to show off, and that's a little bee farm. It's just a pretty standard bee farm design. I'm gonna decorate this to look real nice. I've been doing a ton of terraforming around here and I'm really happy with the way it's looking. As you can see, we're using the basalt, the acacia. I've been mixing in granite and brick. Those of you who check out my stream may have seen me working on this bee building. I made this little decorative pond here with a little chair swing. This is sort of maintenance for the farm if I need to get into these hoppers. It's a pretty productive farm as well. I started taking what I learned from doing the sort of block mixing down here and applying it to the shores of Souichi in here, which is a project I've been putting off. And I've got like basically one full of the 3 sides done. Side 2 is done. It's looking crazy. I finally finished. All the sides are completely done. So now all that's left to do is fill in this water to the edges and start placing a bunch of kelp and coral and seagrass, which is kind of the fun part, to be honest. Basically, every couple rows you do ends up extending the source blocks over and they sort of slide on down the wall like that. This didn't actually take me that long. I think max I'm at like 4 hours or something right now. But yeah, when you come to this corner here, as soon as I fill in one of these blocks, it's going to update all the way down the line, which always looks really cool. There it goes. Yeah, so that's always pretty satisfying to watch. This really just puts the sheer scale of this project in perspective for me. I've got a lot of sea pickles and glowstone in, and I sort of spread the kelp and the seagrass around. It's not done. I think it still needs a lot more work, but other than that, it's pretty much done. That was really good to get done before episode 100. I'm pretty happy with that.
I think Souichi will be the big thing for the 100th video.
I've been grinding like crazy on the cathedral. I sort of designed a whole back for it. I'm really excited for the next update because there's going to be candles, so we can fill this place with candles. I got quite a bit done on the interior. Neat little spider church logo on the banner up there. Will you stop interrupting? The patrons of this church are not very friendly. I will say that about Spider Church. The centerpiece of this room right in front of the window is this gorgeous pipe organ. And this brings us to present day. I'm actually pretty happy with the episodes from here on out, so rather than sort of doing the play-by-play, we're just gonna do like a lightning round. Episode 100 is a tour of my entire world as of last August, but while we're on the tour, we do complete a couple things, like improving the cathedral interior and working on the beach behind Souichi. In episode 101, we take a break from working on our overworld projects and finally start constructing a real nether hub. Only took 10 years. We start by clearing out a mini perimeter, which is pretty miserable in basalt delta biomes. The magma cubes were a nightmare, but I actually have pretty good memories of digging this out and binge watching skins. It's funny, I can usually remember what show I was watching when I did a certain project, like the Spider Cathedral was Better Call Saul. We also built a tavern/inn with a gorgeous interior in our port area. It's the first build over there and it really got me excited to do more. I talk about how we still don't have a potion room somehow, so before we build one, we're gonna make sure we have the farms we need for all the different ingredients that the potions take. I wanted to build a ghast farm, but I didn't have any wither roses to make it, so we threw together a quick wither skeleton farm by ENX04, which was about 100 times easier than the old one I had made, and works 100 times better. Go figure. We got a ton of wither roses by murdering lots of chickens, and then finally we threw together a quick wandering trader farm to try and get some of the new stuff he sells in 1.17 like drip leaf. Episode 102 kicks off with a bunch of new farms. I made a nano farm for crops, a flower farm, a nether flower farm, a drip leaf farm, a hanging roots farm, a fern farm, and a sea pickle farm. Since they all require bone meal, we built these over at our giant mob farm so that the bone meal is easy to refill whenever we need. Then I worked on the new nether hub design a bit, but I realized I would need a bunch of nether wart to craft red nether bricks, and the only nether wart farm we have is pretty manual. So we built a really quick and dirty AFK nether wart farm. It's slow, but I just leave it on overnight as I sleep and get as much as I need. Since this episode was made around Halloween, we had some fun doing some small spooky builds. We built a little cemetery, a witch house and a witch hut, and a gallows down at the harbor. To finish off the episode, we started another huge terraforming project to extend Withering Heights to wrap around the back of the Spider Cathedral, or the Spurch as we like to call it. By the beginning of episode 103, we had already finished off the new mountain, and I think it really helps that side of the base feel less empty. I got right to work on building up the bridge to Withering Heights to make it feel more solid and realistic instead of just like a thin floating platform. We also put a cute little food stall underneath the bridge and worked on a few staircases to begin connecting the various parts of the city together. I guess I was in the mood for some small builds because I also did a little tiki bar over on the beach behind Souichi. After that, we put together an automatic moss farm and then dove into making a TNT-powered automatic tree farm. It's a design by Il Mango, and honestly, it was one of the hardest redstone builds I've ever done. It has a super efficient TNT blast chamber, so you never waste a blast. A lot of people think I'm weird for duping sand but not duping TNT, but I only dupe sand because I literally have to if I want to use it. The Wandering Trader sells sand, but very rarely and only a stack at a time. And there are bugs to trade with the Wandering Trader infinitely, but that's still an exploit at the end of the day, so it just doesn't make that much of a difference. Anyways, we cover up the new tree farm with a beautiful building that might just be my favorite smaller scale build I've ever done. Hopefully the tree farm curse is finally over because there is no way I'm ever tearing this down. In episode 104, we covered up the moss farm we built in the previous episode with a little brick factory building. Then I worked on building a lighthouse and outlining the next phase of terraforming around Souichi. We're gonna be doing a massive mountain with some impressive rock features. 1.18 had just come out, which lowered the build height to -64, and this was great news because I wanted to be able to dig out our harbor a little bit to give more room for big ships to dock without literally touching the bedrock at the bottom. The only issue is that we'd have to break a lot of bedrock. So I drained the harbor and began using a new method of bedrock breaking that lets me destroy 6 to 10 blocks at a time. But even with this new method, this was clearly gonna take me weeks to complete. Finally, we headed into the nether to finish up the exterior of our nether hub build. Something
Something I didn't really mention is that the Nether Hub is a scale replica of our overworld base. Each circular tower lines up with one of the circles in our city. The Y values are the same, but the length and the width of the design are 1/8 scale because each block in the Nether represents 8 blocks distance in the overworld. It's a little bit hard to explain, but it has a really cool practical use in that I can build a portal within the Nether Hub and actually know exactly where it's gonna link up in our city. After episode 104, we hit 10,000 subscribers, and so I put together a special video which isn't technically an episode of the Flat World, but it might as well be. We worked on an absolutely insane mega build to cover up our mob farm and all of the farms around it. I worked non-stop on it for like 3 weeks straight, and I think it was worth it because honestly, it's one of the craziest things I've ever built. A lot of you may have seen episode 105 because it's currently my most viewed video with over 1.5 million views. In that video, we discussed the upcoming 10-year anniversary of the world and what our goals will be for the next 10 years, since I would really love to keep playing on the world for as long as possible. We also took down the 4 buildings that surrounded my main tower base, which was a hard decision to make. I was really attached to them, but the design was very outdated, and more importantly, it really obscures the view of our world from the top level of the city. Now that they're gone, I do love being able to look out at all of our incredible builds. We were finally running out of our iron supplies from our old iron farm in the Garden of Pharaohs that had been broken for years, so I quickly put together a new iron farm, and while I was in the redstone zone, I also threw together a chorus fruit farm. That's because I learned that end rods are actually craftable with blaze rods and popped chorus fruit, and I want to start using end rods more often. Our base is still littered with torches, and eventually we're going to get rid of them all. With a lot of new people coming to the channel who were unfamiliar with Superflat, I thought it would be best to spend the beginning of episode 106 talking about how I got the various resources in my world. Afterwards, we put together a cozy windmill building on Withering Heights. I don't really build things that don't have an actual function that often, so it was a nice change of pace for me. I kinda needed a break from some of our huge projects around the city, so I headed over to the long-forgotten Garden of Pharaohs to give it a proper send-off in episode 107. In honor of the old Iron Golem statue, we built a giant creeper at twice the scale. The creeper required a bunch of green wool, but our current wool farm is more for trading white wool than collecting different colors. So we put together 4 little towers that automatically collect all 16 colors of wool. They're pretty slow, but we spend so much time near there that they end up collecting loads of wool anyhow. We also needed terracotta for the creeper, so I put together a new building across from our bee farm. We got 32 mason villagers, 1 for each of the 16 terracotta colors and 1 for each of the 16 glazed terracotta colors. Grinding the villagers took forever, but I'm really happy with how that building turned out. At the end of the episode, we filled the creeper with 5,000 blocks of TNT and set it all off in a spectacular explosion. If you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend watching it because the ending was insane. And finally, we've made it to the final episode of the Flat World that is currently released. In episode 108, we finally built something on top of our main tower base after many years of putting it off. Based on a bunch of suggestions I got in the comments, we put a giant spider statue atop a large domed structure. I worked really hard on varying the textures and gradients on the roof in order to try to step outside my comfort zone and improve my building skills. While working on the building, we ended up needing a lot of materials, so we built a few small farms. This little shed helps me quickly convert concrete powder into concrete. We also made an attachment to the wood farm that feeds cobble into the blast chamber, so we can automatically farm cobblestone without needing my player to be mining. Lastly, we made a really awesome mushroom stem farm, which we've yet to cover up. In an upcoming episode, we definitely need to come up with a cool mushroom themed building to hide the farm in. And that's it. 10 years of Superflat summed up in one video. Who knows where our world could be in another 10 years? Just thinking about it makes me want to get right back to work. It's really hard to put into words how much this world and the community that it's created mean to me. It sounds stupid to say out loud, but this game has literally changed my entire life. Look, I'm not that good at this game. I wasn't the best builder. My farms were always breaking. I never learned redstone. I can't PvP or parkour. Heck, I can't even kill the wither without dying. And year after year, I failed to reach my lifelong dream of becoming a YouTuber. But I never gave up. I kept going year after year. I kept building. I kept making videos. I kept trying. And if you take anything at all away from this movie, please take that. Never give up. Thanks for watching.